Welcome to episode 12 of Teed Off Dad. I am now recording this in mid-July during a ridiculous heat wave where golf courses, for example, as you will see at Royal Birkdale, are very dry, very bare and running very fast. Now, the first thing I want to talk about in this episode is going over our golf trip that we had to North Wales. Now, there was 8 of us, colleagues, friends, what have you, went to Llandudno. Our trip involved playing 3 rounds of golf over 2 nights. Now, I can't really fault Wales Golf Travel. That's who I booked through. They sorted the hotel, which, I'll be honest, we stayed in the Llandudno Bay Hotel on the seafront, and it was a whole deal nicer than I was expecting. I expected on a golf trip that you get some kind of, first golf trip I've ever been, that the hotel would be a little bit run down, a little bit, not as good, but credit where credit's due. Hotel right on the seafront, on the promenade, really nice hotel, clean, golden cutlery, which was a surprise. Generally could not fault the hotel at all. Breakfast were really nice. We had the 2 breakfasts in the morning before we went out, and generally really good. Friday afternoon we all made our way over from the Midlands or Bristol or Cambridge. With the first tee off was at North Wales Golf Club on the coast at 2 in the afternoon. Really nice picturesque drive, hammering it down in rain literally till we got to the Welsh border. As soon as we went into Wales, Wayne in Wales? As soon as we went into Wales, it's as if the clouds started to break, the sun came out, and it was a really lovely afternoon. The only downside I would say was the wind, quite strong, but as a course goes, North Wales Golf Club, nice clubhouse, plenty of parking. The one thing I was a little bit disappointed on, they do have looks like the food van or the cart, with, you could put warm food, cold drinks, all that, but it was just sat, it wasn't going out on that day. But so a few of us had a beer, looking at the views from the clubhouse as we waited for everybody else to turn up, and then we all had a bit of a swing in the nets, put on the practice green, and then we're all off. Now, the first few holes you play, you kind of go out towards the sea, then you turn left and you're a little bit away from the seafront. But as you go further round, I think, is it 10, 11, 12, you are literally sea to the left. You are the last piece of land before the, I think, is it the North Wales pathway, which there's a bit of a story on later on that. And really nice. The winds, I don't know what speed they were, but it's one of them, you play with what you've got, you play to the wind, and I really enjoyed it. The course was good, it played well, the greens ran well, the rough in places was up, it was thick, you'd lose balls, well, you do lose balls, but generally can't fault it. Really lovely place, the views spectacular as you're out on the 10, 11, 12, but even then looking over to, is it the Great Orme, the big rock outfall at Llandudno, just can't fault it. So I played reasonably well. I don't know, there's a couple of, I've not been using my driver, but I did pull it out because it looked very wide fairways. I know drove the green on, is it the 18th or the... But there was one, I was up probably back right of the green after a drive. There's another one of the longer holes. I hit my drive, went right, but in play, wedge up towards the green, so all good, just played some, again, it's that whole thing, played some good golf, played some rubbish golf. There's a really funky par, there's a couple of holes where the level changes and the contours. I think there's a par 3 where you're literally playing downhill into a green which is surrounded by 5-6 metre banks all round. So when you look at it that way, you kind of think, if I hit it anywhere in that region, there's a good chance it'll bounce off the sides and end up on the green. But the problem you've got is if you hook it left and end up on the next tee box, you're then playing blind up and over and down into. So if I was playing better, it would have been easier. My handicap via England Golf is currently 21.1, which I think, the way I've been playing, I had a few good rounds last year that are still on there, which I think is artificially dropping it down. So I shot 105. Disappointingly, I knew I've wasted shots out there, but again, that's my level of golf. I'm going to waste shots, I'm going to do stupid things. So that was 72, 21s and 93, so I'm 12 over what my handicap. But as I said about is it the North Wales Coastal Pathway or something like that? So I think the 10th, there's a couple of raised stands that you can walk up, have a look down, see if there's anybody on the path, because if they're in kind of target distance, you're deemed to use your noggin, wait for them to either walk or run past or cycle past, and then play when it's safe. So one of us goes up, we have a look, nobody in sight. One of the lads on the tee box hooks a ball left into the path, only for us to watch it and see a runner coming down the path. Now there's a couple of us just start yelping shouting at this fella, but he's a runner, he's got his headphones on, completely oblivious. We all then start to squint a little bit, worried that this guy's going to get a golf ball on the side of the head. But fortunately, I assume he probably would have felt the wind of that golf ball as it went past his head into the rock armour or the rocks on the front, and then into the sea. Timing was impeccable. I don't know what else to say, just impeccable timing. He wasn't there, then as soon as the ball started going, he was. We all finished off, back in the clubhouse, had a drink, chilled out for a minute, clubs back in the cars, and then we all made our way on the short drive to the hotel. I'm probably going to deviate a little bit, not wanting to be a tourist guide, but it was a strange old... So Friday morning we travelled, Friday afternoon we played our round North Wales, and then Friday after that we go to the hotel. Now, as far as we were aware, there was no specific parking for the hotel, so we kind of scattered around parking wherever we can, whether there's free parking, whether you have to pay on the seafront. Nobody was worried. So we pull in, and as I said, the hotel was blinding. Can't grumble about anything at the hotel. So we had 4 doubles, so 2 in each room. Now, I chose the window bed in the room I shared with, conveniently, another chap called Richard. So I said I'd have the window. Now, it was up on the 3rd floor, so we're in, kind of years ago, I assume, what would have been the roof space. And There was the windows, but the windows kind of jutted out, and then the roof was diagonal, so there was a bit of reduced headspace. So you get to the bottom of the bed closest to the window, you kind of then have to arch your back over the bed and go under, so not to knock your head on the walls surrounding. So all good. Led on my bed just to have and see a sign saying mind your head. Now I'm kind of like, I've already done the tricky bit getting onto the bed, but to look up and then see the sign after you've probably already clonked your head did feel a little bit backwards, but other than that, the bed was comfortable, the rooms were clean, bathroom really nice, shower, bit of room in the room, to store your luggage and whatever. Just can't fault it. Tea and coffee on the table. And then I thought it would probably keep me awake more than it did, but the sound of the sea crashing against the bay, or the harbour, I suppose it's the harbour, isn't it? Just really nice and soothing. We all went out, and I'd never been to Llandudno on a Friday night, but it was literally, we started to wonder at one point if something had happened and nobody had told us. It was that quiet, properly quiet. We walked around, went into a couple of more locals that were doing karaoke, that type of thing, and in the end we went to Wetherspoons. So you've got the Palladium, which is the old theatre in Llandudno that Wetherspoons have taken over, and as you walk in, you then got the old grand entrance hall or doorway, and then you walk down some steps into where the seats would have been, and then at the back will be the stage, and then the toilets, as always is in Wetherspoons. Toilets up 3 flights of stairs. But there must have been 30 people in that Wetherspoons, if that, and then us 8 turning up. Grabbing a table was no issue. We sat down, had a drink, watched a bit of the football because the World Cup had started on the telly, and then we decided to grab a kebab on the way home, so we all went in. Now, in Wales, I was still struggling with the back, and I used a buggy on all 3 rounds because I really wanted to play, but I knew I wouldn't be able to walk. But literally no taxis. I think I saw 1 taxi in Llandudno, and that was on Saturday night. But Friday night the town was really quiet. We walked back from the town to the hotel, and I think I was passed by 1 car on Friday night along the promenade. So yeah, when quiet, I mean quiet. That was one of the main roads through on the seafront, but literally 1 car. So off into bed. Wake up next morning, I think we were teeing off at 11 on Rhos-on-Sea. So it was only a 10-15 minute drive from our hotel. So we convened for breakfast, we all had our breakfast, then decided to move on over for our tea time at Rhos-on-Sea. So after breakfast on Saturday morning, I head off a little bit earlier because I wanted to go to the co-op on my way to Rhos-on-Sea golf course. Grab some drinks and some snacks and stuff just for the round. And so yeah, I go off, I do my shopping, check in with the wife, make sure everything's hunky-dory. Back at home, pull up to the golf course, go in, talk to the club pro about the buggies and try and sort all that out. Then I walk back into the car park, and I see 2 of the lads sat in their individual cars talking to each other. I'm thinking, we're getting close to the tea time here. What's going on? And they then look at each other. I said, well, where's Harrison? And the two of them look at each other and just say kind of like, that's what we were talking about. One had thought one had got him and the other one thought the other one had. So, in simple terms, between us, we left one of the golfers back at the hotel. So Tom scoots off, goes back to the hotel, picks him up, and brings him back to the course. So we tee off on time, so there's no issue there. And we found out that Harrison was feeling all chilled, led on his bed, taking his time, you know, not worried about anything, just chilling out, not realising that everybody had left and he was the only one still left in the hotel. But all good. We got to the course, or he got to the course on time. Tom grabbed him, came up, and 18 holes, Rhos-on-Sea. Nice flattish course. You've got houses on kind of like two sides, an industrial park on another, and then a road at the back. It's close to the sea, but you can't really see much of the sea. And I'd seen 6 weeks before we went that a YouTuber golfer, Matt Fryer, had done a video, and he'd said, right, the easiest course in Wales. But then after watching the video, you kind of realised that it's not the easiest course in Wales. There's a few proper hiccup holes if you go wrong. But generally really nice, big open fairways, bit of water. Just as North Wales, cracking course. Rhos-on-Sea, again another cracking course, different. There was still wind, but as there was trees and houses and the industrial park, some of the areas were a bit more sheltered. Now on the whole it was flat. There's a couple of things that we had to look out for. There's a couple of holes, road on the left, one goes uphill to an elevated green, so you're always going up, and then next to it you're coming down, quite considerably downhill. I don't know what it is, but I've got my own fairway to aim at, then there's the fairway on the right, and then there's like a 2 foot wide brook, and for some reason out of everywhere I end up in the brook. Granted, it's dry, there's no water in it. I couldn't play it out though, it wasn't really wide enough, but I must have 120 yards of fairway to aim at, and I end up in a 2 foot brook. It just, I can't script it half the time. I really don't know what I do at times. If I was aiming for it, then great, I'd be chuffed. But yeah, really no idea. Now, I did have a moment into the deep rough on one of the return holes. I thought to myself, don't be daft, just take your wedge, just try and just get it out of the rough. I found the ball, hit it, and club snagged, twisted my wrist round. I just let go of the club then, that flew out my hands, and I was bouncing around a little bit with a twisted wrist. Now I'm talking to a couple of the other lads, just explaining that it does flipping hurt. All good, we carry on. Now I remember one of the lads, he ended up in the deep rough on the next hole, so I gave him a shout across and just said, warning mate, if it snags you're going to hurt, so just be careful. I don't know what you can do, but take as lofted as a club as you can and just try and get the club to beat through the grass. Anyway, he did exactly the same thing as me, really slammed into it, club snagged, twisted. Now my wrist, I suppose it eased off. I think it was just an initial, but the other chap did struggle a little bit for the next few holes, But one interesting thing he did say was after he'd hurt his wrist, he didn't want to swing as hard as he had been, and he found that with a steadier swing and a bit of a slower, not putting so much effort in, he was hitting the ball better than he was before he'd hurt his wrist when he was trying to smash the cover off the ball. So there is a bit of a story there. I suppose the old adage, let the club do the work, is really where you are. There's a hole, I think it's 15, 14, a par 3, and we all remarked about the greenhouse in the back garden of the house behind the green, that we were all, joking, I wonder which one's going to hit the greenhouse, blah, blah, blah. Fortunately, none of us did. We all got away kind of scot-free. Well, then I was having a decentish round. Got down 17, and I'm, what am I, early 90s. I think, what was I, 90, was I 91 or 92? So I'm looking at it, I've got a par 4 and a par 3 left. And I'm thinking to myself, there's a really good chance, 91, a really good chance here I can break 100, which, again, an achievement for me, might not be for a lot of people, but for me. Now, 17th is really deceptive. You play down the fairway, but then the green you can't see. There's a mound in front of the green that goes up, then drops down again to the green, and then you've got a bit of an upslope at the back that goes to the fence adjacent to the road. Now, I never doubt what the app says. I use 18 birdies. I try and track my rounds and what have you. Fairways hit, greens, just so that if I'm ever, I know what I need to work on, but if I ever wanted backup, it's showing me what I need to work on. So I'm looking at this and it's telling me 115 to the pin. I'm looking at the hole, I'm looking at the road behind, and my head said, that's not right. So I go down a club, hit a 90-yard shot, and end up short of the mound. So I walk up, and as soon as I get to the mound, I have a look. There must be 10 to 15 yards over the mound before the green, and then a decent sized green. So I start kicking myself that I've basically wasted a shot. So I think my head starts spinning a little bit. I take me 60 degree, just trying to up and over the mound onto the green. 9 times out of 10, no worries. I ended up thinning it through the green up towards the road, then chip back down, and what is it? I think I must have taken a 6 because I was at 97, so I'm 2 over, just lost the plot a little bit. Par 3, the last one, it's basically on a little island right outside the club and right outside the club shop. Not the longest of holes at all, but it just kind of intimidating. So I look at it, I just try and focus on the green itself and land it in the bunker. So you've got like the circular island with a path over to it, and then 2 bunkers just to the side of the circular island, and then the green. So I'm in the bunker, I'm thinking, right, all hunky-dory. I've got really where I was sat in, or where I was stood in the bunker, didn't look too bad. I'm looking at it, chip out, put for par, and then I'm at 100. I won't have broken 100, but I'm at 100. So then I proceed to miss-hit the bunker shot, hit the lip, roll back down. Now, everything in my head says, stop, step back out the bunker, take a breath and go again. But no, it rolls. As soon as it comes to a halt, I set my feet, try again, hit the lip, roll back in. So I'm like, this is just not on. Third shot out, onto the green, close enough for a putt, and gone was me 100. Just silly decisions at the end of it that just were the difference between literally breaking and not breaking 100. So disappointed. We all drive the buggies back, give them back, jump in our cars, back to the hotel, quick shower. We're going to go out for some food this time. The plan was to have something before 2 in the morning on the Saturday. So we all meet in the bar, have a few drinks and a bit of a natter in the early evening in the bar before we proceed to walk into Llandudno. Now, the town itself, it's as if it had a personality change overnight, because Friday night, absolutely nobody in the town. Saturday night, absolutely packed. Rather than trying the local pubs that we did last time, we went straight to Wetherspoons. Again, football on. We thought, have some food, Wetherspoons, cheap and cheerful, watch the football and then just see what else goes on. Literally walk into the Wetherspoons, and in like the foyer bit they've put a table there and you've got 6 or 7 people eating in the foyer. You've got people eating outside. Walk down the steps and there is not a table free in the place. So we've gone from less than 40 in on the Friday night to being over 200 in on the Saturday night. So as we're milling about, we grab a table, one of the kind of the stall tables, we start ordering food, and as we go on we then get more chairs, and as people move and people leave we start doing that. So generally I don't get if the Friday night's unfashionable and if it's Saturday night is the night, but the difference is just literally chalk and cheese. So we had a laugh, had a good night, and walking home I said to the lads, you lot run ahead, it's going to take me a while, having to have a break every so often with my back, so you guys go off, I'll catch you up and what have you. And again, I think I saw, was it 1 or 2 cars on the Saturday night on the promenade, and one of them was a taxi. Literally no taxis about. So it did make me think to myself, there's a sideline job there, taxi driver in Llandudno. I think they're in dire need of them, but again, that was just me. But no, walked back to the hotel, into bed, fell asleep again, listening to the sea rolling in. Really peaceful, really calming. Up Sunday morning, we all start getting packed, ready, because on the Sunday morning we're playing Abergele, which the plan was play 2 at Llandudno Friday, Saturday, and then Abergele is on our way home along the expressway heading back to England. So we did that. Really lush, green, nice course in the what looks to be in the foothills of Gurrick Castle, which when there was a problem abroad they did the I'm a Celebrity at that castle rather than going abroad. But yeah, really picturesque, really nice course, and yeah, there's a bit of banter going on. A couple of the lads, one of the lads kept joking that he should be a 54 handicap, and we're all like, no, you're having 36 at worst. And yeah, so there's a bit of banter, and then 2 of the lads started getting a little bit talking about betting per hole and what have you, so we just carried on. So myself, I started playing some of the best golf I think I've ever played, and it just, I don't know what was happening, it just seemed simple golf, So I'm looking on front 9, I go out in 46. Now, for me, that's playing slightly under my handicap, but I've got 4 on the par 4, 4 on the par 3, had a bit of a wobble on the par 5 and got a 9, but then par on the next par 4, bogey on the par 3, par on the 4, par on the 4, a 7 on the par 5, and on the 9th I got a 6 on the par 4, so I'm plus 10. So I'm, in my head, I had a couple, like the 9 on the par 5, you're instantly gone really on that if you lose a ball. But generally I'm really pleased with the way I'm playing. Start the 10th, I get a 6 on the par 4, then I par the par 5, and I'm thinking, not really thinking about it, but I know I'm playing some, for me, I'm playing some really good golf. Then all of a sudden it's like a switch went. I don't know if it's fitness or concentration, but I then took a 7 on the par 4, 6 on the par 3, 7, 7 on the next 2 par 4s, then a 6 on the par 4, a 5 on the 17th at the par 3, and then the cruelty of golf hit me on the 18th. Now, for anyone that's played Abergele, all the holes generally don't have much danger, if you see what I mean. It's a really nice course. The danger is you go out of line, you'll end up in trees, or you'll end up in the rough, or maybe water, that type of thing. But it's funny because as we'd played the first, you have to then cross a bit of a road to go to the second, and there was a couple came back the other way, and you know, you have a bit of chat. Oh, how you doing? Everything all right? Yeah. How's the course? Oh, good. And then the lady said, wait till you get to the 18th. Now, I thought no more of it. So the 17th you come back onto over the road, the 17th the par 3, then you climb up the bank onto the tee box for the 18th, heading back to the clubhouse. Now from the tee box you can see the clubhouse, and you look at it and you think, wow, it's a bit of an undulating fairway, but there's not much danger in it. So take a 4-iron off the tee, because I've given up on my driver again, and I hit what I would normally, I thought was an absolute belter, right hand side of the fairway, drifted a little bit with my shot shape, landed on the fairway and rolled down. So I'm walking after my ball thinking, right, I know there's a brook down there, so play handicap golf, or, you know, play bogey golf, which is what I was trying to get in my head for most of this. Take an iron, launch it down, another iron onto the green, couple of putts, and sounds simple. I finally found my ball on the edge of the fairway in the rough, so it had rolled from the right hand side of the fairway all the way down to the left hand side and just rolled off. So I'm at that point then I'm taking a baseball swing. The ball is near enough waist high. I've got my club and I'm like, right, let's just get it out. Whatever you need to do, just try and get it back into the fairway. Hit a decent shot over to the right hand side. I don't really know how I made connection with it, but I did. Then again, I think I start remembering good shots, not bad shots. So I'm in the right hand rough, and rather than picking a club and thinking again, don't panic, just play it safe, get in the fairway, I picked my 6-iron up and then tried to leather the 6-iron, which then I know when I over try, I have no idea what's going to happen, and I shank it out of bounds on the right. So take a breath, take another ball, change the club, come up into the fairway, wedge, just missed the green on the right, and I'm thinking to myself, right, let's just finish this now, let's kind of limit the damage. I'm over on the right hand side of the green, right in front of the clubhouse, the balcony overlooking the green, there's people having drinks. I try a bump and run from the right hand side of the green. Now the green basically runs parallel to the clubhouse, so I dink it on, hits the start of the green and starts running towards the flag. I start looking at it thinking, oh, this is going to be good. It then takes a slope towards the pin and starts picking up space. At that point I'm thinking, please hit the flag, please hit the flag. It goes about 6 inches to the side of the hole, carries on picking speed up, and I end up completely the other side of the green, heading back up, which is now uphill, from about 4 foot off the green. So again, after being penalised for a good drive and shanking one out, I'm not in the greatest of headspaces. So chip onto the green. I really don't know if it was a 2-putt, can't really remember. All I remember is getting the ball in the hole, picking the ball out the hole, throwing it into the trees next to me, and that was a 10 on the 18th. Abergele, which means I went out in 46, back in 59, 105. I have a 13 shot differential between front and back 9. It still grates me a little bit. That 46 on the way out, playing some really good golf, but even at the end of the 11th I was still playing reasonable, and then 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17 and 18 really bad shots, miss-hit shots. So I don't know if there was an element of tiredness, because I've never played 3 rounds of golf in 3 days. Granted, I'd got the buggy, but I've never done it before. But it just seems a shame that I threw away what was going to be a early to mid 90s round and turned it into 105. So what we decided as well, on the balcony we'd do like a bit of a presentation summary, because one of the lads, Lucas, really good at Excel, so he'd done some reports. We all keyed all our scores in, and then we've got winners, and then we've got a couple of, like, not loser prizes, but prizes just generally just to try and make it memorable and reward the good players. Fortunately, my 13 shot differential on the back 9 compared to the front 9 was trumped by one of the other lads who had a 19 shot differential between the front and the back, which I think is tough to do, but we all had a bit of a laugh. We all dished out the prizes. One of the chaps, Richard, did a fantastic job. He got us some crystal golf balls etched. He got us a wooden spoon engraved, he done really well. We got some other prizes, like a 60-degree lob wedge head with a bottle opener attached in the hosel, so that was one of the prizes, and the obligatory 3 golf club pens, the little set with 3 pens. But yeah, that brought to the end a fantastic weekend in my eyes. I was chuffed to bits that A, I'd organised it and it went so well, B, everybody seemed to have fun, and C, we were already talking on that as we drove home. We were already talking about the the next year's trip. And kind of just to add insult to injury, I'd not spent as much money as I'd put aside, so I thought, being, the husband and father that I am, I sent some money to the wife so that she could treat the kids. So as I'm sat in McDonald's near Rill, having me burger and chips on the way home, I get a picture from the wife that her and the kids are eating a full Toby Carvery dinner. Yorkshire puddings, meat, gravy, vegetables, the full works. And I'm sat there with me at McDonald's. But overall, fantastic trip. If I was to do it again, I wouldn't say no. I'd do it all exactly the same. I'd do the 3 courses in that order. I'd go back to the Llandudno Bay Hotel. And yeah, I wouldn't, if somebody said that, I wouldn't blink an eye. I just think, and credit to Wales Golf Holidays, it was a blinding trip. So that was the end of our weekend. I'm a little bit after that now. I'm a week on, and I hate to say it, but being back home, back at work, doing all the menial, running the kids round, I'm actually missing our weekend away. So yeah, it is what it is. There'll be other opportunity. Now I just need to focus back on work, focus on the wife and the kids, doing what we do normally. And yeah, thank you for listening. As I've said, massive credit to Wales Golf Holidays, North Wales Golf Club, Rhos-on-Sea Golf Club, Abergele Golf Club, and the Llandudno Bay Hotel. Cracking. Really couldn't fault anything that happened on that weekend. So for me, I hope everybody stays fit and well, play well, because the summer's on us. It's not very wet, and I don't want to curse it, but there's a lot of dry, warm weather coming up. So hopefully we'll all get some golfing. Thank you for listening, and I'll be back shortly. I won't leave this one as long. My next one I will be recording shortly. And I've also had a yes for a mini interview. So I need to get over the nerves and write some questions formally, properly. Try not to make a fool of myself. And yeah, I will speak to you soon. Play well, everybody, and keep well.